Once upon a time, winter never ended in the kingdom of Arendelle. With the coldness of snow and storm, snow and ice dominated the lands of the kingdom. Everywhere was covered with ice, and people were shivering from the cold. Ice crystals glittered on every tree branch. The sky was covered in cold blues. Under this frozen landscape, people continued their daily activities, shivering and cold, and were literally frozen under the cold embrace of nature. The princesses of the kingdom, lovely Anna and Elsa, have come together to solve this cold spell. Queen Elsa took the wise step of producing a magical map which led them beyond the borders of Arendelle into a mysterious icy forest. On the sparkling trail of the map, Elsa and Anna would embark on an enormous and challenging adventure. As they move through the frozen trees and snow-white snow, the secrets and mysteries they encounter will turn into a great adventure of discovery that will tighten the bonds of the princesses and change the fate of Arendelle. They encountered various difficulties in the forest. As they moved through the icy forest, Anna's joy and Elsa's magical powers helped them deal with the dangers around them. As they made their way through the forest, they met Kristoff, a friendly ice elf, and Olaf, a mischievous snowman. Kristoff's wisdom in solving the mysteries deep in the forest and Olaf's mischievous sense of humor became complementary elements for the team. As they continued on their journey, these four friends grew stronger with every challenge they faced. Finally, they found the blue and shiny stone that would stop this chilling cold winter. Anna and Elsa touched the stone with their faith and love for each other. The blue stone glowed and turned red, turning into a different color. This magical stone was showing its effect. The chilling cold began to disappear, the ice on the trees began to melt, and the flowers on the mountains began to bloom. Anna and Elsa saved not only their kingdom, but also nature with the power of this magic stone they found. The kingdom of Arendelle was freed from years of winter captivity thanks to Elsa's magical powers, Anna's determination, and the cooperation of Kristoff and Olaf. From now on, the kingdom gained the freedom to experience not only the winter season, but also the 4 seasons. People began to dance with joy, enthusiastically welcoming the revival of nature and the return of the seasons. From now on, happiness, joy, and solidarity would always prevail in the kingdom of Arendelle. Once upon a time, there lived a boy named Andy. This energetic boy's favorite toy was a brave cowboy named Sheriff Woody. Woody was not only a toy, but also Andy's best friend. When Andy was away from home, he would become the leader of the other toys in his room and lead them on fun adventures in his world. Woody's cowboy hat and distinctive stance would make him the hero of the room. Andy and his family had started preparations for the holiday they had been planning for a long time. Andy would take one of his favorite toys, Sheriff Woody, with him as part of this exciting adventure. However, In her hasty packing, she accidentally left Woody at home. Woody felt a deep sense of sadness when he saw Andy leave with his family without him. Looking at the back of the car, he was filled with sadness of not being able to be with the child he loved. The other toys in the room also witnessed Woody's meaningful sadness. While Woody was sadly looking after the vehicle, the noises coming from his next-door neighbor's house caught his attention. The boy next door was known as a naughty child who damaged toys. When Woody heard the sounds of the toys, he put aside his own sadness and immediately took action and made a plan to save the other toys from this mischievous child. This plan emphasized Woody's responsibility not only to the toys in Andy's room, but also to the other toys. Sheriff Woody, Buzz Lightway, and their other toy friends gathered and quietly left Andy's room and went on an adventure to his next-door neighbor's house. This brave attempt was an example of solidarity, led by Woody, who was worried that the naughty child would damage his toys. During this adventure, they encountered a series of exciting events and dangers. First, they had to escape from the naughty boy's dog. The team led by Woody managed to overcome this danger quickly and nimbly by acting together. Then, they narrowly escaped being crushed under their toy vehicle. This showed the team members' rapport with each other and their ability to work together. Finally, they tackled the strange toys in the naughty boy's room. Thanks to Woody's plans and leadership, this amazing team got through every challenging situation together. After an adventure full of adventurous moments and dangers, Woody and the other toys successfully managed to escape from the naughty boy's house. On their way home, they noticed Andy's car passing by their house. This moment was both hopeful and emotional for Woody and the other toys. When Woody saw Andy's car, he immediately took action and jumped next to Andy. Andy felt deeply saddened by the loss of Woody. Andy, seeing Woody again after the moment he was forgotten on the road, showed how strong a child's attachment to his toys is. Andy and Woody returned home. Woody realized that Andy had not forgotten him and that he would always be his favorite toy. Buzz Lightway and the other toys also returned to Andy's room and continued to live happily. Woody's adventure was not just a story about a toy, but also a story full of the beauties of loyalty, friendship, and living together. Andy and his toys emerged stronger from this experience, strengthening their bond with each other and moving towards a happy future. Carl and Ellie were known as legendary adventurers in their neighborhood. Their bond with each other symbolized the beginning of an adventure that spanned many years. The beautiful adventures they discovered from a young age formed the basis of their lives. Since their first meeting, they spent their childhood and youth together, supporting each other, and accumulated unique memories by devoting their lives to each other. Their marriage was the culmination of this adventurous relationship, Their love and commitment to each other deepened even more with marriage. Their loyalty to each other allowed them to grow together and strengthen their love for each other at every stage of their lives. When Carl and Ellie reached their 30s, they noticed that the quiet atmosphere of the town they had lived in for years was turning into an increasingly gloomy one. The streets, which were once colourful and lively, had turned an uneasy grey tone over time, and the houses had become colourless. Carl and Ellie decided to get away from this gloomy environment and realise their dreams. In order to initiate this change in their lives, they decided to leave the town and go to different lands. They wanted to follow their dreams and experience a more vibrant, colourful life. This decision revived the couple's desire for adventure, accumulated over the years they spent together. Carl and Ellie had a dream with a special meaning since their childhood: a flying house. In order to realize this dream, the pictures they drew and framed since their childhood and hung in every corner of their homes were a source of motivation for them. In the midst of the monotonous life, grey houses and colourless days in their town, this dream became a light that gave them hope and excitement. To make their dreams come true, Carl and Ellie came together and decorated their home with colourful balloons that would lift them into the sky as they dreamed. When they filled their homes with these colourful balloons, the magic of thousands of balloons began to dance around them. Rising in a riot of colours, their houses looked like they came out of a fairy tale. Defying gravity, they slowly floated into the sky. The house carried by these colourful balloons escaped from the grey monotony of the town and became the symbol of freedom and colourfulness. When Carl and Ellie looked out the window of their rising house, the happiness and excitement on their faces showed that they were enjoying this magical world created by their flying house. This journey was not only an opportunity to escape from the boring routine of the town, but also an opportunity to realize the dreams they shared together and strengthen their love for each other. This decision they made was not just about moving from one place to another, but also the meaning it carried and the symbol of the time spent together. Carl and Ellie were enjoying the moment they had dreamed of since they were little. Their houses were flying freely in the sky with colourful balloons. Their unique journey lasted for months. They ate the meals they carefully prepared from the ingredients they had stored, accompanied by magnificent views, sat on the balcony of their homes and immersed themselves in peaceful moments with the melody of the wind, and enjoyed their travels by sipping their coffee. Each sip was a reminder of the value of the adventure they had and every moment they spent together. Between 2 cups of hot coffee, they dived into the depths of the life they shared. Perhaps the most beautiful moments were hidden not only in the sky, but in this deep bond with each other. Throughout their journey, Carl and Ellie faced not only beauty, but also difficult times. Some of the balloons they tied to their homes on stormy and snowy days could not withstand the harsh weather conditions and broke. However, these difficulties did not cause Carl and Ellie to give up their dreams even for a moment. On the contrary, these challenging moments made the joy and excitement of reaching the Sky Island they wanted to reach even more special. Despite the difficulties they experienced, Carl and Ellie reached the Sky Island they wanted to reach. When they set foot on the Sky Island, they found themselves in a fascinating world. This fairy tale island welcomed them not only with its magnificent landscapes, but also with its fantastic creatures, stunning bird species, and a reality full of miracles. With each step, encountering a new discovery and surprise on this magical island left them with even greater curiosity about life. As Carl and Ellie continue their lives on this magical island, they begin to appreciate every moment they spend together. Every day, they were filled with excitement for the many more adventures they would discover and the many stories they would collect on this island full of new miracles they saw. This fairy tale island not only made their dreams come true, but also helped them strengthen their love and commitment to each other. This unique experience led them to understand the true meaning of life and the value of stories and discoveries shared together. After adventurous and beautiful years on the Sky Island, Carl and Ellie decided to return to their small town. They missed the days they spent in this town, remembering their past memories, their childhood years, and the beauties they lived together. However, what they encountered on their return journey surprised them and filled them with great joy. When they arrived in their town, they found their neighborhood filled with houses decorated with balloons. The town they had left years ago was now in a riot of color. The streets where balloons danced reflected the energy and joy of the town. In the face of this change, Carl and Ellie hugged each other with joy and smiled through their tears. The dreary and colorless town was saddened by Carl and Ellie's departure from the town and learned a great lesson, and after they left, they decided to add color to their town. Among those who contributed to this tremendous change of the town, not only the townspeople, but also the little explorer, Russell played an important role. Russell was a little explorer who grew up with the adventurous stories of Carl and Ellie, and whose admiration for them became a passion in his heart. Despite his young age, he impressed those around him with his courage and curiosity. Finally, Russell's dreams came true, and he got the opportunity to meet Carl and Ellie, whom he adored. This meeting was an unforgettable memory for Russell. Carl and Ellie became pioneers of the town's revival and lived peacefully in this beautiful town until their old age. In their years together, they not only had the chance to make beautiful memories, but also served as an inspiration to younger generations, like Russell. Carl and Ellie's life became an example of the importance of time spent together, love and adventure, and a touching story that taught how a community can bond together and how meaningful it is to share the beauty of life. Once upon a time, in a peaceful meadow surrounded by tall trees and magnificent flowers, there lived an extraordinary duckling named Ugly. Ugly was different from the other ducklings in the pond. He had messy feathers and a not-so-elegant appearance that made him stand out. The other animals in the meadow often made fun of Ugly, making him feel lonely and sad. One sunny day, while wandering near the pond, the Ugly discovered a secret path leading to a mysterious forest. Intrigued, he decided to explore what lay beyond the meadow. Along the way, he encountered wise old turtles, friendly rabbits, and even a playful squirrel who encouraged him to embrace his uniqueness. As he moved deeper into the Ugly forest, he came across a magical lake with sparkling waters. A magnificent swan surprised him by gliding gracefully over the lake. The Ugly man was fascinated by the beauty and grace of the swan and desired to be equally elegant. Determined to change, the Ugly sought guidance from the wise animals of the forest. By sharing their stories of self-discovery and acceptance, they taught the Ugly Duckling that true beauty comes from within. Inspired by these lessons, the Ugly Duckling decided to embark on a journey of self-improvement. Ugly was practicing swimming every day, trimming his feathers and improving his skills. His desire and effort attracted the attention of the wise old swan and revealed a magical secret. The lake had the power to transform those who embraced their true self with love and acceptance. As the Ugly Duckling continued to grow and learn, his once messy feathers began to shine with a newfound sparkle. The other animals in the meadow were amazed at his transformation. The Ugly Duckling had turned into a magnificent swan. This happened thanks to her pursuit of her dream, self-love, and determination. The meadow, which had once echoed with laughter at the expense of the Ugly, was now filled with the sounds of admiration of the animals. The story of the Ugly became an inspiring legend, teaching all the inhabitants of the meadow the importance of acceptance and the beauty of embracing one's uniqueness. The Ugly boy's journey from an outcast duckling to a graceful swan has become an immortal story of self-discovery, resilience, and the transformative power of love. And so, in the heart of the magical meadows, the legend of the beast continued to remind everyone that true beauty comes from acceptance of self and others. In a small and sweet house, there was a naughty and curious boy named Max. Max woke up cheerfully every morning, played games and explored the world. One morning, Max woke up as usual. The sun was shining through the window, the birds were chirping, and Max's stomach was growling with hunger. When Max wanted to get up from his bed, he noticed something strange. When he looked at his hands, he saw that they were too small, and he immediately ran to the mirror. He couldn't believe his eyes. Max had turned into a tiny child. Max couldn't understand what was happening and called out to his mother in panic. When his mother entered the room, she found Max crying on his knees and listened to what he said. His mother smiled and tried to calm him down. She calmed him down by telling him that Max had swallowed a magical powder and that he would be tiny temporarily, but then he would return to his old self again. Max couldn't understand what his mother was telling him, but her mother began to tell her the story of the magic dust. There was a fairy who lived in the deep forests. The fairy had a magic powder that could shrink people. However, the fairy had a special rule: to use the powder only for good. Because the fairy felt the benevolent love in Max's heart, she sent him this magic powder as a special gift. After what his mother told him, the little boy calmed down a little more. Thinking that being little could be fun too, he immediately started examining the toys in the room. The toys now looked like giants to him. He climbed on top of a truck and began exploring his room, which looked like a big city. He had adventurous moments among toy cars while wandering between building blocks with his little hands. He hid in small cars, explored the streets, and embarked on an adventure he would never forget in this miniature city. Max went on an unforgettable adventure by riding the toy trains in his room. The journey in the tiny wagons gave him moments of joy. While he was moving on the toy rails, he was diving into colourful landscapes, pushing the limits of his imagination. The day spent on the windings of the railways had given him the feeling of crossing huge valleys and high mountains. The rumble of the train turned his room into a big world. Max was having a surreal experience while travelling to huge geographies with tiny wagons. After getting over the excitement of his train adventure, Max got on the toy plane in his room and took a tour in the sky. The toy continued its journey in the sky, floating among the clouds. As he took control of the plane with his little hands and wandered freely among the clouds, he encountered colourful birds. The airplane adventure opened the doors of a fairy tale world to this little boy. After experiencing the excitement of the plane, Max set off on a sea adventure by boarding the small toy ship in his room and had adventurous moments in the miniature ocean. While travelling among tiny waves, he enjoyed taking a trip across huge oceans in his imagination. Max, bravely challenging the stormy waters with his small ship, experienced the joy of discovering the mysterious pirate islands. At every turn, the toy world in his room turned into a real sea adventure. After this adventure, he rode an excavator toy and excavated with construction equipment in the sandbox in his room. He created his own small construction site by filling the sand into the excavator with his little hands and accomplished great works in the world of miniatures. He started searching for hidden treasures under the sand and made his own little archaeological discoveries. He liked this little version of Max very much. The next adventure was to race with the cars in his room. He got into a small car and started a great race with other cars. He experienced moments of victory by speeding along imaginary tracks behind the wheel of the toy. He lived his dream racer identity to the fullest, celebrating his victory among the colourful flags. The little boy was tireless. This time, his adventure was a space adventure with a rocket toy. He explored the galaxy with the rocket launched into the sky in his room and made an imaginary space journey among the stars. He visited planets like a little astronaut, danced among colourful meteors, and discovered the limitless beauties of the universe. The little boy had spent the day full of magical discoveries and discovered different worlds. With the arrival of evening, his mother gave him a magic potion. This potion would return Max to his former size. After drinking the potion, Max lay down on his bed. Before falling asleep, he smiled, thinking about the incredible adventures he had that day. The moments he spent with the toy trains, planes, and ships in his room made him feel like a little hero. When he woke up the next morning, he was back to his old self. From that day on, Max started to look at everything more carefully. He realized how powerful even a small ant is and how beautiful a flower smells. He loved his cat that came to him, and now he could look at the world through their eyes. Discovering the small details in the world Max sees has brought him great happiness. He welcomed the sunrise, the chirping of the birds, and the growling of his stomach with greater gratitude. He was now wandering like a traveler in the curious world of a little child, taking every opportunity to discover the little miracles of life.
Once upon a time, a brave and fast race car named Lightning McQueen lived in the town of Radiator Springs. By winning the Piston Cup, he became a hero known all over the world. However, beyond the victories in his career, McQueen had a spirit that wanted to spend time with his friends and embark on new adventures rather than fame. One day, while Shimshek was playing in a junkyard near the town with his best friend Mater, they discovered an old chest. The chest was mysteriously locked and had the words, "Lost Treasure," written on it. These two friends, full of curiosity, decided to do their best to open the chest. Mater's intelligence and Lightning's speed helped them eventually open the chest. Inside the chest, there was not only an old map but also a note. The note mentioned a treasure hidden near Radiator Springs. The map pointed out the location of the treasure. Lightning McQueen and tow truck Mater decided to go on a treasure hunt and stepped onto the threshold of a new adventure. The next morning, Lightning and Mater began searching for the mysterious treasure by following the map. During their journey, they crossed rugged terrains, encountered wild animals, and supported each other to solve mysterious puzzles. They progressed without getting tired or giving up. Finally, when they reached the location on the map, they came across an old mine entrance. The inside of the mine was dark and scary. But McQueen and Mater gathered their courage and entered the mine. Although there were many traps and obstacles in the mine, they overcame these difficulties using their intelligence and skills. Finally, they reached the deepest point of the mine. There, they discovered a chest full of gold and jewels. McQueen and Mater were very happy to find the treasure. But just then, the ceiling of the mine began to collapse. McQueen and Mater did not panic and managed to quickly get out of the mine with agile movements. McQueen and Mater took the treasure and returned to the town of Springs. The townspeople welcomed them with great joy. With the resources obtained from the treasury, they renewed the town's library and bought many useful books. They built a new school where children could study and decorated the town park with beautiful trees, turning the park into a garden of paradise. One day, a world-famous car race promoter came to the town of Radiator Springs and said he wanted to organize a race. McQueen and his friends decided to participate in this race to represent their town. After the treasure adventure, a new adventure began for the town. When the race day came, McQueen and his friends went into intense preparation to represent their town in the best possible way. The townspeople supported them with great enthusiasm, and on the day of the competition, the town turned into a holiday place. Throughout the race, he followed the race with excitement with the spectators in the stands. There were competitive moments and exciting times in the competition. McQueen fascinated the audience with his speed and skills. In the final round, an unforgettable duel began between Lightning McQueen and his rival Chick Hicks. This fight, which took place at the last corner of the track, fascinated the audience. The crowd in the stands was watching the race with bated breath. Lightning pursued Chick Hicks, maximizing his speed and abilities. At the last corner of the track, the distance between them was gradually closing. McQueen was carefully responding to every move of his opponent and trying to get ahead with meticulous maneuvers. Excitement was at its peak as the audience watched this critical moment when vehicles could become entangled. Lightning was speeding towards the finish line, displaying the best performance a race car could give. Just as the finish line was approaching, McQueen's fast reflexes came into play. He made one last maneuver to leave Chick Hicks behind and became the first person to cross the finish line. This victory was not just a victory for one race car, but also for the entire town of Radiator Springs. Lightning's victory was a source of great pride for the townspeople. The crowd started celebrating, screaming with joy. The town of Radiator Springs turned into a holiday place with this unforgettable victory. Lightning McQueen became known not only as a race car, but also as a town hero. After the race, the townspeople held a big celebration in the town square, experiencing the joy of victory together. The town of Radiator Springs became known worldwide for this achievement. Lightning became a symbol for the town, not only as a racing car but also as a leader. McQueen and his friends discovered the power of not only racing, but also friendship, cooperation, and determination. This experience brought the townspeople together and further strengthened their belief in the great things that could be accomplished together. With this new victory, the town grew even stronger and stepped into a future full of success together. Once upon a time, the Queen of Fairytale Land was busy knitting with colorful threads every day, looking out the window. The snowflakes surrounding the palace created a peace that warmed the Queen's heart. One day, the Queen said, I wish I had a daughter whose lips are as red as an apple, whose hair is black as a windowsill, and whose skin is as white as cotton." This wish, filled with a deep inner desire, was like a reflection of the magical atmosphere that surrounded the fairytale land. Filled with great love and joy, the queen's prayers were answered and she was given a beautiful daughter, just as she longed for. Little Snow White had been filling the corridors of the palace with joy since the day she was born, winning everyone's hearts with her love. His eyes carried a bright light of hope and his smile turned the palace into a fairy tale land. Snow White's presence brought back the happiness that the queen had missed for years, and she shone like a sun illuminating the people. But one day, a different queen replaced the queen who was Snow White's mother. The queen this time was not only beautiful, but also humble and loving. Instead of looking in the mirror and asking herself questions every day, she was observing the beauties of nature and listening to the sounds of birds. This inner peace and love of nature earned him great admiration along with the positive energy he spread around him. As the years passed, the new queen grew older, and Snow White turned into a young woman. The magic mirror, as a mirror that always tells the truth, said to the new queen, "Snow White is more beautiful than you." However, the queen was delighted with this beautiful heart, and instead of being jealous of Snow White's innocence, she was proud of her. The queen learned to put aside her past aspirations and celebrate Snow White's growth and her own unique beauty. The queen accepted that she was getting older and began spending time with Snow White. But one day, the king went on a trip and the queen was left alone in the palace. Using this opportunity, a malicious palace employee separated the queen and Snow White and left Snow White in the forest. Snow White's pain of separation, whose eyes shone with the queen's love and trust, filled the palace with gloom. Snow White, left alone in the forest, came across a cute cottage. The owners of the cottage were 7 helpful dwarfs. The dwarfs accepted Snow White and raised her with love like a family. Snow White grew up in a loving environment during the days she spent with the dwarfs. While the dwarfs taught her the secrets of survival in the forest, Snow White filled their hearts with joy. In the process, the magic mirror revealed the truth and told the queen that Snow White was in the forest. The queen was very happy when she heard this good news and immediately went to the forest to find Snow White. The queen, full of love and hope in her heart, overcame the difficulties she had in the forest and finally found Snow White. After hard days in the forest, the king, queen and Snow White came together, embraced each other in love and friendship, and thwarted the malicious employees. The drops of joy in the queen's eyes cleared away the worries and fears that Snow White had after her adventure. With this reunion, Fairytale Land was filled with goodness and joy. Instead of being jealous of Snow White, the queen was proud of her, because Snow White was someone who impressed everyone with a strong spirit and a heart full of love. They lived a happy life together, sharing beauty and supporting each other. Once upon a time, in a village at the foot of the majestic Alps, there lived a sweet little girl named Heidi. Heidi's life in this quiet village continued like a fairy tale among the embracing beauties of nature and mountains. Lush green meadows and snow-capped peaks surrounded Heidi's world with an enchanting atmosphere. His rosy cheeks and kind heart made him the darling of everyone in his village. An important turning point in Heidi's life was the day her Aunt Deep brought her to live with her reclusive grandfather, Uncle Ong. Uncle Ong's initial grumpiness eased when he discovered the warmth within Heidi, and the bond between them grew stronger day by day. Uncle Ong's hut became a warm home even in winter with Heidi's arrival. This gloomy hut had become colorful. While Heidi was climbing the peaks of the mountains with her newfound shepherd friend Peter, she was making unforgettable memories during these adventures. Chasing butterflies, listening to the peaceful song of the mountain breeze, and turning meadows into playgrounds helped Heidi integrate with the beauties of nature in her heart. With every step, they were getting closer to the mysterious world of the Alps. Heidi's love and compassion extended not only to humans, but also to the peaceful animals of the mountains. Agile goats, wise owls, even majestic eagles soaring high, saw Heidi's loving approach and became friends with her. The mountains in this quiet village echoed with Heidi's joyful voices, celebrating the harmony between nature and man. With the arrival of winter, a storm ravaged the Alps, stranding the villagers in their homes. But Heidi, with her indomitable spirit and loving heart, was determined to bring warmth and joy to her neighbors in the village. He created a warm haven in his grandfather's hut, bringing people together during this difficult time. Stories, laughter, and a sense of unity shared around the crackling fire brightened the cold nights of the Alps. Heidi's dedication and love melted the icy barriers that had separated the villagers for years. The storm outside might have intensified, but a newfound warmth filled the hearts of everyone gathered inside the hut. As the storm passed, the Alps revealed their pristine beauty once again. Heidi's adventures continued, but her heart remained forever connected to the magical world in the mountains. The once distant villagers became a second family, and Heidi, with her resilient spirit, continued to spread joy and love across the stunning Alps. Thus, in the heart of the Alps, Heidi's story turned into an immortal tale of love, friendship, and the transformative power of mountains. Once in a quiet attic, young Maya stumbled upon an ancient puzzle radiating with whispers of enchantment. Patiently, she connected each piece until a soft hum revealed a magical portal. Maya stepped through to find herself on Puzzle Planet, a realm crafted from interconnected puzzle pieces. Each fragment held a unique charm, and as Maya explored, she encountered friendly inhabitants residing on these puzzle islands. Curious creatures, each representing a different friendship, welcomed her. There was Patch, a playful panda teaching Maya the joy of embracing imperfections, and Harmony, a wise owl with the ability to see connections between pieces. In her journey, Maya came across a lone piece named Solo, sitting isolated and feeling left out. Understanding the value of giving, Maya gifted Solo a place in her heart. To her delight, Solo transformed into a vibrant symbol of unity, illustrating the profound beauty of selflessness. Word spread across Puzzle Planet about Maya's act of kindness, and Solo became a beacon of the magic that occurs when connections are freely given. Puzzle pieces danced in joyous harmony, and Maya learned that true happiness lies in the joy of sharing, in giving pieces of oneself to complete the puzzle of someone else's heart. As she bid farewell to her newfound friends and stepped back through the portal, Maya clutched a special piece, a reminder that the most beautiful puzzles are the ones created together, one friendship at a time. She returned home, forever changed, carrying the lesson of Puzzle Planet in her heart, the immeasurable value of what is given away. Once upon a time in the vibrant kingdom of Eldoria, there lived a curious and adventurous little girl named Lily. Eldoria was a land of enchantment, ruled by a kind queen, but it was under a dark shadow. A mischievous sorceress, Malora, had cast a spell, turning the once thriving kingdom into a land of eternal winter. Lily, with her heart as warm as summer, couldn't bear to see her home in such despair. Armed with her trusty scarf and a fearless spirit, she set out on a quest to break the icy curse. Along the way, she encountered talking animals who became her steadfast companions. With determination in her eyes, Lily reached the Ice Palace, where Malora resided. The sorceress, surprised by the bravery of this little girl, challenged Lily to a magical duel. Lily, though small, possessed a strength fueled by love and kindness. She cleverly used her scarf to reflect Malora's icy spells back upon her. As the last shard of ice shattered, Eldoria was bathed in a warm, golden glow. The kingdom thawed, flowers bloomed, and laughter echoed through the air. Queen Seraphina thanked Lily for her courage, declaring her the hero of Eldoria. Lily, with a humble smile, became the beloved savior of the kingdom, teaching everyone that even the smallest heart can thaw the coldest of curses.